yes, another moment, another time to come on and talk about this request where women are asking for how it is that they can be more supportive or, better partners to men in ways that a lot of women will probably still ignore. But maybe that's just me being a little bit, cynical and pessimistic. Although, let's be very honest, it's not like it hasn't happened multiple times before with a bunch of different women. Although, before I can do any of that, first off, I need to at least get to the origin of all of this, of which, before I can even do that, why am I man as I should have started with an intro? Welcome to the Breakdown Podcast, where I talk about love, sex, and relationships from a guy's perspective, as well as a bunch of other guy shit. The man on the mic is Denver B. This is a shorter, less edity, no instrumentally version of the podcast where I basically share my thoughts on singular topics in a pretty simple way where I just just go off. Kind of like that, if I can put it in the simplest way. And I'll be honest, there are times when I look at some of the questions that people ask online, and while I can sense the concern, and I genuinely do appreciate the concern for men, I always feel like a lot of times it's like that concern is only a fleeting feeling at a fleeting moment. Because a lot of times you hear women talking about how they want to support men, how they want to be better, and seem like they are being very good or caring partners to men. And then, it's almost like motivational speakers. You just listen to them for a bit and you're super motivated, and then you wake up the following day and it's back to business as usual. But I'm hoping this time that won't be the case, because I stumbled across a Reddit post where a woman was asking for support, or at least how she can support her man. So I am going to read the story, and it says, and I quote, "For context, I am a 25-year-old married woman married to a 24-year-old man. We have been married for a year and a half, and I recently finished school. I currently don't have a job, but I'm looking. He's in university and working at the same time. He's been supporting us and he works very hard both in school and at work. I want to show him how much I appreciate him and everything he's done for us, and I don't know how. So for men who work hard for their families, spouses, or themselves, how would you want to be shown appreciation by your girlfriends and spouses?" End quote. Of which, I like that she said girlfriends and spouses, not girlfriends or spouses, because, I guess, she also accepts that there are some men that will have girlfriends and wives all at once. But anyways, that's sort of besides the point. That was more of on a light note. I do not endorse infidelity on this podcast, and, I hope that y'all are being faithful. Just saying. Now, I'll be very honest, this is one of those questions where the easiest way to kind of answer it is just tell her to just gift in a functional way. Just look for something that he's trying to do or wants to do, and then just buy a gift that assists with that. So if he's into fixing cars, getting him a toolbox can help, or a drill. If he is a gamer, then buying him a PlayStation pad, or asking him what game he'd want, then buying him would probably work. But there's so many ways that you can stretch this even beyond just buying gifts to acts of service, and I intend on going there. Although before I can get into any of that, first off, 24 and 25 years old, already married for about a year and a half, is wild. It's absolutely wild. And don't get me wrong, it's not like it's a bad thing. And if anything, I am completely happy for them. I wish them all the best, and I hope they stay married for life. But it's not something that we hear about as much nowadays. Most people nowadays are trying to get married in the mid to late, on the early stage, but for most it's late 20s, early to mid 30s and shit. But then again, there's reasons for that, and you can't really clown on people. But at the end of the day, if the two of you are comfortably together and you're happy, and you decided to get married and you're doing life and you're happy and you're comfortable, that's a you thing. Our opinions don't matter for shit, provided that the two of you are happy. All right. But anyways, I digress. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I hear these questions being asked quite a bit nowadays, which is great, and I love the fact that women are looking for, or at least some women are looking for more and more ways to show care and affection and support to their men. But oftentimes whenever you just tell these women what to do, it sounds so simple, because usually trying to show women that you care and you support them requires you to do a bunch of shit that sometimes feels like you're basically trying to pull the moon from space and bring it down to earth. But when it comes to guys, like, we're particularly simple creatures. And considering that us guys are basically bred and conditioned to just, like, work through our shit and always get the job done no matter what, like, we don't usually like sit back and like try and think of ways that we would want to be appreciated in like a special manner, because like we first need to get the job done. All right. And oftentimes whenever women are asking this question, like whenever we give responses on like what to do, it usually seems so simple that they're like, wait, that's all you have to do. And I kid you the hell no, I actually have a list of things that you could do to just show your partner that you support them. Not necessarily a gift per se, but just regular everyday things that you can do so that he can know that he is supported and he is loved, such that he feels so much better every single day when he comes home and when he leaves to go to work in the morning. And the best part about it is that it's only around 5 things, and for the most part, like, they're fairly simple, nothing too extravagant, but they tend to go a pretty long way as far as like just trying to assist men. It's not like a full-on list of 30 plus things you can do to make your man happy. Nah, like, I'm actually just gonna stick to the basics with this one. So let me get into the list. And the very first thing that I would probably say you can do to show support for your man and just care in general is listening to them. Like, I know it seems like it's incredibly simple to do, and you probably listen to your man, but I mean like actually deeply listening to your partner. Not listening to respond, not listening so that they can get done and you can tell them about whatever tea is happening in your life. Just actual listening to your partner. There's so many women that talk about how they are, good and they listen to their partners, but they are very, very shit listeners. And I've had experiences, just the same way a lot of guys have had experiences, where you try to open up to a woman and it's the same exact person who says they listen, but they end up just dismissing whatever issues you're talking about just so that they can get to their stories or whatever it is that they feel. I've had an instance where I had gone through something pretty bad. I had been ghosted by a babe who I really, really cared for, and I tried opening up to a female friend, and I went deep. And the moment I got done, she was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And then, kid you the hell not, in less than 10 seconds, she's like, oh yeah, so by the way, like, there's this and this that happened with my partner, and, right now we're so great, and blah, 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 and he's been so sweet, and blah, blah, blah. And I kid you the hell not, I have never felt so unseen and so unappreciated in a while, in the years, hell, maybe even my entire bloody life, because I'm busy trying to open up to you. Like, this is the gender that claims that they are more emotionally mature than men. Like, this is the shit that actually made me conclude that women aren't emotionally mature. They're just emotional, or at best, emotionally aware. So, tip number 1, listen. Listen to your man. So, the next point is reassure him. And I know there's a bunch of women that probably feel like the guy doesn't need reassurance, he's good, he's always seeming confident, blah, blah, blah. But I kid you the hell not. You reassuring your man, your actual male partner, usually tends to do something for a lot of guys. Especially if it's a guy whose love language includes words of affirmation, like, that's a massive boost for dude. But even though it's not, even though they don't say it is, like, just reassuring a guy is actually something that a lot of men don't experience quite a lot of. And when it comes, it is valued so much. And a very, very straightforward way to reassure the guy is you acknowledge what he does or what he's been doing. You thank him, or you say that you're proud of him, or you say that you're happy with him and you love what it is that he does. I kid you not. You tell that to your man, especially when they're struggling, but even though they're not, and you can absolutely make that day. Like, you give them that extra boost of fuel, of like psych in them, that actually pushes them to go out a hell of a lot more than they currently are. And trust me, like, that reassurance can actually take them a long way. I'm not saying that now you should give it to them once a year or some shit, because it'll go a long way, but as much as you can, and whenever possible, wherever possible, do it. It really, really, really is an amazing thing for you to do to a man. Then the next thing that I would probably suggest that women do is allow him to be a boy sometimes. Like, guys are out here required to uphold reputation, be these upstanding men, like be this, I don't know, pillar of society to some degree. Like you're supposed to like live by certain rules and, be this upstanding great guy every single time. And to be honest, it gets tiring. Like just the same way women want to let their hair out, drop the bra, let the titties hang in some shit. Like guys also want a moment for them to just like be boys. Like just not have to care about the reputational damage. Just do a bunch of dumb shit that doesn't carry any functional benefit or reason, but it's just because they enjoy doing it. And the more expensive version of that is stuff like customizing cars. The simpler bit is, you invite the boys over and you do a bunch of dumb shit as young dudes or as dudes. Like it's something that does actually allow us to like really, really just kind of connect with our inner man or our inner boy. And it's actually a very wholesome thing for guys to do. And it's like, how women will have this thing where like they can basically slap on a bunch of makeup, wear a sexy dress, have some sexy shoes on, and just stand in the mirror. It's not that they're going anywhere. They're just doing it because they want to feel pretty and shit. It's kind of the same thing with guys, Sometimes guys just want to meet up and do dumb shit as dudes, and they need to be allowed to do that without fear of judgment and just knowing full well that they can go have a bunch of immature fun and come back home and, be accepted and, be given the space to do that is something that we guys definitely need, especially today. Then the next thing is give him space to be vulnerable. And I know this is going to sound a little bit hard for some women to get, but do it even if it's not with you. Like just give him that space. Sometimes guys just need to go to a corner and cry their hearts out. You getting into the room and going and trying to sit there with him, like some dudes basically will, just like tighten up and like make sure they stand upright, clear their tears and just go back because they've always known and they've kind of been conditioned to always be an upstanding man, not cry in front of other people or just not cry at all. And them having that tiny corner, that, silent space where they can go and be vulnerable and just kind of go off and just unleash, like some of the darker feelings that they might have is actually something that they need. Now, of course, the goal at the end of the day, like the golden standard for the relationship is, the man can be vulnerable with you without fearing that, you'll go and you'll start telling your friends or you'll weaponize it or you'll turn it into a joke or some sort of emotional fantasy. But, at the end of the day, if you haven't hit that gold standard yet, you should be comfortable just allowing him to go and get a space of his own where he can actually be vulnerable. And last but not least, and I know this feels a little bit repeated, but give him space. Sometimes dude requires a little bit of space. It's not just work and then coming home to you. Sometimes it's not just, this guy has to spend time with me and he has to do this and this with me. Like, just give him space so that he can be himself. Sometimes dudes just want to chill and do nothing. Like, that thing where guys actually admit that, yes, we do have moments where we have nothing running in our minds and that's okay. Like, it's not like there's constant thoughts running. Like, it's kind of like that, but now in a more physical kind of space sort of created way. Sometimes dudes just want to chill. We don't want to chase one thing or the other. We're not trying to do one thing or the other. Sometimes we just want space to just chill and relax. And if you could give your man that, that would be incredible. That would be really, really incredible. There's a lot of guys out here that have responsibilities and are held accountable or basically being called upon by multiple people on a daily. So giving them that space allows them to at least try and recalibrate themselves, which is a very, very important thing. And to kind of conclude all of this, even with everything that I've said, there's an interesting statement that someone once put out that has almost been holding true for a lot of people, and a lot of people swear by it, and that is, men don't recognize affectionate love the same way women do, but if you give us loyalty, respect, and peace, that is usually what we kind of classify as love. Like, that's how we process love. That's the currency that we process love. And while I can debate that all the live long day, what I can tell you for a fact is, you give a man loyalty, peace, and respect, trust me, that man will be a very happy man as long as he is with you. Either way, I might be wrong about this, I might be wrong about so many other things. Either way, I want your thoughts on it. The DMs are open. The socials are in the links below. Thank you so much for listening. I think the episodes should be coming back after this one. But all in all, just stay tuned. Thank you so much again for listening, and I will catch you guys on the next break.